We'll learn trigonometry. On this first one, what's these extra arrows tell us about these two lines? Parallel. We're going to find all of these angles, and this is what you're going to have to do on this quiz. You're going to have to find all the angles. You're going to fill them in. Tell me one angle in this, and we got 1, 2, and 3. You can go ahead, Evan. I can talk over you. I'm going to put angle 4 right here, angle 5 right here, angle 6 right here, angle 7 right here, just to fill them in. We're going to find all of these, not just 1, 2, and 3. Tell me one angle that we know. 112. Give me a reason. Those are vertical angles. What do we know about vertical angles? They got to be the same. They got to be congruent.
Would 6 and 3 be 112?
Now, how come 6 is 112? What are they? Alternate interior angles. What do we know about alternate interior angles?
Make a Z.
They make a Z. They got to be the same. So that's 112. Give me another one.
So would 2 be equal too? Because
Is it 112 also?
no, 3 would be, but you said it'd be alternate interior. It makes a Z
What makes a Z?
from 112 to
Which
the one
one?
that's already the one that's already there.
This?
No, the top.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, different Z.
So this angle, if I trace that angle
Make it a Z from like
Z.
here?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then down, and then right.
Be equal 5.
Oh, so what two angles are those?
Would it be 112?
They're alternate interior angles, but
You're 78.
It's those
okay.
two.
I see. Never mind.
all right. So what is it?
78.
60.
Why 68?
Taking my
180.
Oh, it's 60. My bad.
Okay, you take 180 minus that 112. Hopefully everybody's watching this, because guaranteed when I pop this quiz up here in just a minute. So that angle is 68 degrees. Tell me another angle we know 68 degrees. Angle 2, 68 degrees, because those were alternate interior. 4 is. Now look at 4 and 2. What special kind of angles are 4 and 2 to each other? Remember, you smash the lines together. Corresponding angles. They're corresponding angles. What has to be true about corresponding angles if these lines are parallel? They got to be congruent. So that's 68.
And it says 68.
7 and 4, what kind of angles to each other? Alternate exterior, and they had to be congruent also, right? Did it work out that way that they were congruent? Did we mark every angle?
Yep.
All right, on this one, I changed this on number 6, so do this on number 6. We're going to say that these two lines here are not parallel to each other. So mark that out on number 6. We're saying that they're not, and we're saying that angle 2 down here is 40 degrees. So these are the only two lines that we know are parallel. What's this line called again?
Transversal.
Transversal, good. What's this one called? Transversal. When you're looking at these pictures, and we talked about this a little bit last time, you cannot look at all 4 of those lines all as one, right? So there's one on the quiz just like this one right here. Most of you probably won't have a whole lot of trouble with that unless you subtract from them, right? Evan gets in a hurry and he writes 78 down for all 4 of those angles, and he's going to miss all 4 of those points, okay? But that one's pretty easy. This one here is the one that everybody's going to mess up on the quiz. So watch closely. When you're looking at this picture, you cannot look at the 2 parallel lines and 2 transversals all in one picture. So what you need to do, you need to split off the 2 parallel lines, make yourself a little extra drawing out to the side somewhere. Make yourself a little extra drawing out to the side somewhere, the 2 parallel lines, and then pick a transversal. You want to pick the one on the left or the one on the right?
On the right.
Right? So if we use the one on the right, which of these angles over here, we're dealing with these angles, all these angles right here, right? Which of those angles do we actually know?
40.
This one way down here at the bottom is 40. Can we find all the rest of them in there then?
Yeah.
What's this one?
140.
140? What's this one?
140.
140? What's this one?
40.
And I know I have about 3 or 4 of you in here. Probably like Kenneth. Kenneth will be, I don't need to split that stuff off. And you end up messing up if you don't draw this extra picture. I end up messing up if I don't draw this extra picture. So we know, Bree, you're a lot more intelligent than me, so You don't have to do it, but Mr. Eversole has to, right? How about this angle right here?
140?
140. Those are the roommates, right?
Yeah.
How about this angle?
140, no, 40.
This angle?
140.
This angle?
140.
Can we go back and fill all these in now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 140. So you go back to the picture here, just fill them all in. And we continue to write. Now, we know all those angles there. Guess what you got to do next? Do the other one. Split off the two parallel lines again. This time, instead of using this as the transversal, what are we going to use?
The other transversal.
The other one. Use this one over here. We know this angle right here is 45 degrees. Can we find all those other angles in?
Yeah.
What's this one?
45.
How about this one?
135.
Everybody agree with Evan? Yeah? How about this angle?
135.
How about this one?
135.
This one?
45.
This one?
135.
This one? Now, can we go back and fill all those in?
Yep.
Now, and again, this picture isn't a real difficult one, but there'll be other times where we'll have a problem that maybe you'll have a transversal like that, then they'll have some other transversal coming down through here like this, then they may have something going up through here like that, and when you start getting all that stuff in there, it gets very, very confusing. If you don't separate the stuff off, you will get lost and you will get confused. All right? We fill all these in. We know that's 45, that's 135, that's 135, that's 45, that's 135, that's 135, that's 45. Now, if we had left this part on there where these two lines were parallel and these two lines were parallel, then all these angles over here would have been 135 and 45 also. It's just in, the right spots. But since I switched that because I know what's on the quiz, I changed it. All right, what I need you to do, get out, you can come up here and get a piece of scrap paper if you want and use the scrap paper, or you can get out a clean sheet of paper for this quiz. Doesn't matter, you got about 10 minutes. So we got from right now till 11:20, no longer than that. So if it takes you the next 10 minutes to get a piece of scrap paper or get paper out, then you'll have no time to do the quiz. That's your quiz. Go ahead and get started on it. When you get finished, you're going to lay it right here. Let me put that up here somewhere. When you get finished, you can lay it right there. Wouldn't change. Draw the pictures. So draw both pictures, and all I want you to do is fill in the angle numbers. You don't have to put like 1, 2, 3, 4. Just fill in the degree numbers for each of these.
So is the left one number 1?
Can you read that?
That's 205.
Is the left one number 1?
I think it says 106. It doesn't matter which one's number 1. I'll be able to pick that up.
This is
That's
It's a 6. I should have used a different number, shouldn't I? This is 106. Can we read everything on the other one? Can you tell that's 60 degrees right there?
Yeah.
And that's 70. Watch closely. I'm going to go over it very, very quickly. Even though I messed this one up and it was supposed to be 105. We went with 106.
What had happened was, what had happened was,
This angle's got to be 106. This angle's got to be 74. 74. This angle up here is 74. 106. Evan, don't make me throw you out. 106. 74. So that should have been all those. Over here, if I split off these two first, and maybe with you guys, what might have been easier, since I said draw the picture and just fill in the measures, what might have been easier is just to draw the two green lines then draw the red line and don't draw the blue line yet, and fill all that stuff in. So, Austin, come up here for me.
Yeah, Austin.
Come on, Ralph.
Austin's gonna stand there with his back setting on the screen, covering up, don't cover up the red line. Right like that. So now I can't see the blue line, and now it's a picture just like this one over here, right? So this angle's 60 degrees, this is 120,
I can see the line.
this angle's 120. I can see you leaving my room here in a second if you keep talking out for no reason. 120, 120, 60, 60. Now he's gonna move over, and we could do the same thing on this other side, right? This is 70, so this angle's gotta be 70. Now you gotta be careful trying to do this, because next time, if I make this and this the parallel lines, and these are your two transversals that aren't parallel to each other, then that throws everything around. This is 110, 110, and all right. Here, what do you need, Rick? That one over there is 110 also. That's 110. That's 70. 110. 70. Thank you. Now we got all those angles filled in. And again, some of the problems, and if you look at your worksheet, if you look on the back side, they start throwing in more and more lines, and that makes it more and more confusing. You gotta be able to separate things off. On page 129, 138, books open, questions, problems you want to see off of 129 or 138? Or 135, sorry. Why not put 138 in there? I'm just all messed up today, aren't I? 135, 129, 135. 7 on 135? 135, number 7.
Yep.
They give us a picture, it looks like this. This is 128 degrees. This angle's 2x. And they tell us that these two lines are parallel to each other.
Number 7, 135.
Yep. Did everything right? What special pair of angles are those two to each other?
Alternate interior.
Alternate interior. So what do you know about alternate interior angles if these lines are parallel?
Congruent.
They're congruent. So what equation can I set up there?
128 plus 2x equals 2x.
How do I solve for x?
You can't. There's no x on the other side.
Divide by divide.
Oh. I'm gonna see that.
X equals 64. What'd they ask us to find on this one? Just x? So x equals 64?
Okay.
Is that all they asked you to do is find x?
Yeah, find the value of x in 3 steps.
Next one. Other questions?
$22.
22? They give you a problem, looks like this. Watch, because when we get to polygons, actually quadrilaterals and polygons later on in the year, this is going to be a big thing. And if you already know how to do this, then it'll be real simple. They tell us that this is 2y, this is 4x, this angle is 2x plus 12. I'm not putting all the degrees in the parentheses with it all just because that's extra writing that you need it, but you can see it there in your book. If I'm looking at, these are my two parallel lines. So I do this. This line over here would be called a what?
Transversal?
Transversal. So I'm looking at these two angles right here. What special kind of angles are those two to each other? Consecutive interiors. So they should add up to be how much?
180.
180. Those are the oddballs, right? All the rest of them are congruent. The consecutive interiors are the ones that add up to 180. Let's do the same thing on the other side.
It's a heartbeat rate.
If I draw this, what kind of angles are these two to each other? They add up to
180.
180. All right? So I can set up those equations. I'm going to erase some of this junk I have up here because I don't have enough room to work anything out. Now watch closely on this one, because if I set up this equation, I know those two add up to 180. So 2x plus 12 plus 2y equals 180. Well, I can simplify that down a little bit and go 2x plus 2y. I can move the 12 to the other side by subtracting 12 and get 168. But that's about as far as I can go, because what's wrong with that?
Because
It's got what in it?
Y.
It's got x's and y's, so you can't solve it. So, can't really solve that one. Let's try the other one. 4x plus y plus 6. Those two add together should equal 180. I simplify this down, I get 4x plus y equals 174. Is that right? Same idea there. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, X's and Y.
Got x's and y's. Then we just do a few of these problems on page like 123 or 124 or something, where we have systems of equations. So let's match them up over here. We got 4x plus y equals 174. We want either the x's or the y's to be opposites of each other. Pick a variable, x or y.
Times -2.
Times the top equation by -2.
Yeah.
So if we times this whole top equation by -2, what's -2 times 2x?
-4. X.
What's -2 times 2y?
-2y. -4y. Go ahead.
What's -2? Get your calculator out. What's -2 times 168? I know it's a negative.
-336.
336.
Yeah. Negative.
So now this equation's sort of gone. We don't need it anymore. We're just going to take these and combine them straight down. What's going to happen with the x's?
You cancel out.
What's a positive 1y and a negative 4y?
-3y.
Make sure you're watching this. I will put a bunch of these on the next test. You got to know this stuff. You got to remember this stuff from last year in algebra. What's 174 and a negative 336? You need your calculator again, probably.
-162.
162?
Yeah.
Anybody agree with Evan?
Yep.
Now, what's nice about this new equation right here?
He's gonna turn it to positive. Well,
That's
there's
true.
only one y.
One variable in it, so we can actually solve it. How do you solve it?
Divide -3.
So y equals what?
54.
Are we finished? They probably ask us to find x and y, right?
Yeah.
So it's write and solve a system of linear equations, find x and y. Once we know what y is, what can we do to find x?
Plug into the equation.
Plug it in. Alright, and we can pick any of these equations, doesn't matter which one we pick.
4.
I'm gonna pick this one right here. So 4x plus, we stick in 54 for y, equals 180. Subtract 54 on both sides. What's 180 minus 54?
126.
And then we gotta divide by 4. What's 126 divided by 4?
This is 31.5.
Really? Did we mess up?
I think.
You said 31.5?
Yeah.
Anybody else get that? So 31.5? Huh, I wonder if we messed up. Does it mean we messed up just because we came out with a decimal?
I got 30.
No, you're old enough now that you come out with decibels sometimes, right? Now, let's go back over here and let's see. Just to make sure, if we're not sure, because we're thinking, man, everything else been come out all even. And so go back over here, what's 4 times 31.5?
126.
So that angle right there, we're saying is 126 degrees, right? Let's go down here, what's 54 plus 6?
60.
What did we say about those two angles?
It'd equal 180.
It should add up to equal 180, do they?
No, 186.
It's 186, so we messed up somewhere. What did we mess up at?
4.
Let's see, when we multiplied here, negative 2 times 2x was negative 4x. Negative 2 times 2y was negative 4y. Negative 2 times 168, was that one negative 336? Is that right?
168 minus. No, 174. 174.
Well, we got a positive and negative, so we subtract, right? Does that come out to be 162?
74 minus 336. 510.
Nah, because one's a positive, one's a negative, and you're just adding them straight down.
Negative 162.
Negative 162.
Yeah.
Divide that by 3.
Negative
Negative 3, yeah.
54.
54. We stuck 54 in here. What's 180 minus 54? Make sure I didn't do this wrong.
126.
That was supposed to be 4x. Oh, I did do it wrong. Because this shouldn't be 180 right here. What should that be?
Negative 162. 174.
Should have been 174. That's where I messed up.
Then 174.
So 174 minus 54 is 120, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now what's 4 divided by 120?
30.
30, so x equals
Yeah, that's what I got.
30. Now let's go back over here. That means this angle 4 times 30 is
120.
120, and this angle 60. Now does it work out?
Yeah.
So you could go back and check your answer, make sure you didn't mess up somewhere like I just did. Other questions? That's twice today I've messed up. Usually that. Huh? I know, that's pretty bad, isn't it? Other questions? Alright, look at the worksheet. On the worksheet.
Which one is that?
The worksheet,
No,
the 129 one. I'm gonna have you turn it in at the end. On the worksheet. I wanna look at one certain problem. On the back side. Looking at this problem on the back side. They want to know which angles are congruent to angle 1. Which angles are congruent to angle 1? Can you just look at this and say, oh, angle 1 looks like a 90-degree angle, so, and then make up which other angles look like 90-degree angles? It's not going to work that way, is it? What you need to do on this is where you need to separate them. So if I draw those two angles off and I want angle 1 in my picture, angle 1 is going to be right there. I can use this line right here as the transversal. Well then, you got angle 8 here, angle 2 here, angle 7 here, angle 6 here. Which of those angles have to be congruent to angle 1?
6.
Angle 6 has to be, so that's one of them. If these two lines are parallel, give me another one.
8. Isn't it? 2. 7.
Angle 7. Because they're alternate interior angles, right? So that's all we know about that one. Well, if we're looking, let's say we're looking at these two parallel lines, and we want to use that as our transversal. Angle 1's there. This is angle 4. This is angle 5. Angle 10. Angle 11. Angle 6 is still over there. What angles in that have to be the
6
same
and
as
5.
6 has to be. Angle 5 also. We already got 6, so I'm not going to write it down again.
Is 10 be 1?
Is that the only ones? 10 would be 1. What kind of angles were those again? Corresponding angle's good, so angle 10, back to right, angle 10. Is 11 gonna be the same as angle 1? Now this, some of these other angles might be, like this angle and this angle, angle 1 and this angle would be the same, but they didn't number that, so we can't name it the way that they wanted us to. Any other angles? About any of these angles over here, are we gonna know for sure that they're congruent to angle 1? Because they're gonna be in a different picture now. With all the lines that they told us were parallel, we could actually use the fact that, all right, angle 1, we said is congruent to angle 10. So if I split off these two lines and use this as my transversal, and angle 10 is here, oops, angle 10's not there, angle 11's there, angle 10's there, this is 4 and 5, and we got angle 9 over here and angle 3 here. Oops, angle 3. Pick it up. What do we know about angle 9 and angle 10? They're the same. Well, if angle 10 is the same as angle 1, then is angle 9 going to be the same as angle 1? If 10 was the same as 1, is 9 going to be the same? Yeah. So angle 9 is another one we know. Well, angle 10 is also same as angle 3. So if angle 3 is the same as angle 10 is the same as angle 1, is angle 3 the same as angle 1? So we know all those angles in those pictures. And that property, that one property that we just used there is the transitive property. If we say angle 1 is congruent to angle 10, and then angle 10 is congruent to angle 3, well, what's that tell us about 1 and 3? They have to be congruent using the transitive property. So we could go through and find all 6 of those angles in this picture that have to be the same as angle 1. Alright, this is what we wrote down last time. And we're going to write down something else this time. But just looking at this, and make sure you're paying attention. If you have parallel lines, then you know corresponding angles are congruent. Parallel lines, alternate interior angles are congruent. Parallel lines, alternate exterior angles have to be congruent. If you have parallel lines, consecutive interior angles, those are the oddballs, they have to add up to 180. Alright, what I want you to do, come up here, grab this.
Okay,
What do I do with it?
okay.
Come up here and grab this worksheet. Yeah, I guess.
This is a gun walk here. It's a gun walk.
On this worksheet,
This is retarded.
bring this down. Proving lines are parallel. So now instead of us knowing that the lines are parallel, now we're going to prove that they're parallel. And what is this? Is this second set of notes for this 9 weeks? So go ahead and start copying this. Proving lines are parallel. As soon as you hear that word proving lines are parallel, what are you probably thinking of? 2-column proofs. We're probably going to do a couple of those.
Like, those things ruin my life.
I mean, I got 800 tests, so I guess.
You know what ruins my life? Teenagers that
We
whine
could get our
and
test
complain
back.
all the time. Probably could if we hurry up and get done. I don't have any idea what the answer is.
My teenagers complain.
It's like
everything that your mommy and daddy gave you that's on top of your head or
There's
inside
these-
top of your head.
See,
Mommy and Daddy gave me
here's the
dreams.
problem.
Build approved, lines are parallel, write quickly, because I'm turning the slide, because I can't have this discussion.
You gave me genes, and you gave me brain
I
though.
got a.
Genetics.
Oh, I got a dead spot on my brain. It says quarter, so.
You just want him to be mad at you.
I just proving it right.
Kenna, say it. Come on now. That way I don't have to. You know you want to. So you got more control than I got, because I almost can't control myself. I want to.
Do that.
That's pretty bad when you as a teenager have more control than me. Alright, all of these theorems, listen closely. These look just like the theorems that we wrote down before, except they're the converse. What's converse mean? It switches the hypothesis and the conclusion.
Yeah.
So, so if we go back, if we go back to this one, what was the hypothesis in every one of these?
Parallel.
Parallel lines. And then it gave the other things, right? Now the parallel lines part is going to be the conclusion in every one of these. So now what they're saying is if the corresponding angles are congruent, then we know that the two lines are parallel to each other. So we're not starting off knowing that the lines are parallel. We're starting off, yeah, write this down. We're starting off knowing that maybe these angles are congruent or these angles are supplementary or whatever. So I'll give you a couple minutes, get those written down again. Do I care about the name of it here, theorem 3.5? No, the only reason I put that there is to hold the spots. Maybe in your notes, maybe you just write T 3.5 or something to make it easy on yourself. Who knows? This is the part that matters. These are all just the converse of those other theorems. So now instead of us looking at this picture and them telling us that these two lines are parallel, now what they're going to do is they're going to say this angle is 50 degrees, this angle's 50 degrees. Are lines A and B parallel to each other? They're going to say A parallel to B, and they're asking you. And you got to give a reason. You got to say yes, no, why or why not. Well, if I'm looking at these two, what kind of angles are those two angles that I just said were both 50 degrees there? Alternate interior angles. So we look right here. If those alternate interior angles are congruent, what's that tell us about line A and line B? They are, they're parallel to each other. So are they? And what you write down, you got to give a reason. You write, yes, they're parallel. And our reason would be that. If alternate interior angles congruent, then lines are parallel. And you might want to shorten this up. Maybe ALT, EXT. You don't have to write it all out. I'll know what that means.
Oh, dang.
Now what if I did something like this one? This one I know it'll come up at some point throughout this chapter. If I told you this angle was 50 degrees and this angle right here is 50 degrees. Are those two lines going to be parallel to each other? What kind of angles are those two? Which ones are they? They corresponding angles? Alternate interior angles? Alternate exterior angles? Consecutive interior angles? Yeah, they're consecutive interior angles. What should be true about consecutive interior angles? They should be supplementary. Those two supplementary to each other?
Yep.
50 and 50 add up to 180?
No.
So what's that tell us about these two lines?
They're trans.
They're not parallel. So we'd have to say they're not parallel to each other because those angles should add up to be 180. Alright, transitive property of parallel. If line P is parallel to line N, and line N is parallel to line M. So I have something, I guess that's probably gonna be line P right there. So I have line P. What do we know about line P? Parallel to line N. So we know that these two lines are parallel. Those two lines are parallel, and we put another line in there that's parallel to N.
Draw the picture.
Are they, they're all what?
Parallel.
They're all parallel, good. So if we put another line in there, and that's line M,
Jesus Christ.
then we know that line P has to be parallel to line N. What's our hypothesis in this? Which part's the hypothesis?
Line P,
If, is it just if line P?
line B.
Line P, it's all that right there, right? What's the conclusion that we can draw from all that?
Then line P, line A.
That right there, line P has to be parallel to line N. So what they're saying here,
You love yourself?
if this one is parallel to that one, shh, I'm not gonna have to talk over anybody the rest of the block, so if you're talking while I'm talking, it's gonna be a detention. If line P is parallel to line N is parallel to line M, then what's that tell us about all three lines?
They're all parallel.
They're all parallel. Make sure you don't say congruent, because lines can't be congruent. They're all parallel.
That's hard.
Yep.
Jeez, we blew through it fast today.
Alright, your assignment is on page 142, problems 3 through 8, 13 through 18, 21 through 26, 30, 33, 34, 41, 42.
We're looking at the top piece and I put it where it's gonna go.
Since.
Okay.
Maybe.
The points on.
Since we got through, since we got through pretty quickly, let's look through here. See if there's, maybe I won't. I was gonna see if there was a 2-column proof and maybe do it for you. Problem 34 looks like a 2-column proof. You guys wanna do it together, or you just wanna say the heck with it and do it on your own?
Say the heck with it.
The heck with it?
No.
Alright, get started on it. Maybe here in a minute you'll change your mind and you'll want me to do it. And
Hey, Ken, I was looking at that door for like 3 minutes, just said, you just said it to me. I was like, really? I wasn't there, I like just got back and it wasn't me. Like on a hot hallway. Also, is that your phone? Pulled up on yesterday. It was all the current.
start working. Don't waste this time, start working. We can take another quiz. I got another one ready if you want it. Austin's gonna do some work because he knows good and well, if he doesn't, he better hurry up and get started, because once he gets out of here, he doesn't never remember to do my work. Ah, Austin, don't,
I need some luck.
you gonna come back and work.
What was that? One.
I'll take
On
pictures.
135.
Oh, somebody have the assignment 135 written down, so I'll copy. Oh, it's on the board up there.
Damn it. It's like my right hand.
Curtis,
Taking a picture of this.
I'm getting ready to take the phone away if you don't quit talking and start working. 129. Do your your book out, cause I'm gonna say I'm not taking it.
Hey, what?
Get it open and get
I
started.
was, and then I remembered.
I'm probably gonna use it, so I don't have to worry about it.
Just do it now.
I'm not gonna get all of it done right now, we only got like 10.
Get it done, Curtis, quit talking. Get started working, then I'll decide.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna not accept it for you guys. You guys got on my nerves today.
Okay.
So what do you mean, like, when you find X? Like, how do you explain the reason?
Don't worry about that.
When you find X?
A bunch of them ask you to explain your reasoning. I thought I put that on here, but thought I put on here not to worry about it, but apparently not. Don't, just do it. Just do the math. Let me look at it to make sure. I'll try to tell you which problems to. Because some of them, you have to give a reason, because that's the answer, right? 3 through 8, don't worry about explaining your reasoning on 3 through 8. And 21 through 24, don't worry about explaining your reasoning on that. But on problems like 13 through 18, your answer is your reason. How come these are? You gotta tell, these are parallel because alternate exterior angles are congruent. Does that make sense? And a lot of problems, you notice, we're doing the same thing we were doing last section. A lot of these problems are saying, to make these lines parallel, what has to, what's X have to be? Well, that's the same thing as saying, okay, these lines are parallel, now find X.
So the answer is the 3 through 8 would just be X equals.
So, yep. See if I got as far as 15 yet.
You want it 5.
Six?
Yeah, like it's 180 minus X.
What kind of angles are those? The 180 minus X and the X, what kind of angles are they? Alternate exterior, right? What do you know about alternate exterior angles? They should be. Just wrote it down.
So do we take all our old notes out every year?
Somebody help Austin out. Alternate exterior angles.
They're congruent.
They're congruent if the lines are parallel, right? So those two should be equal to each other. So we'll say 180 minus X equals X. Now, write that down. 180 minus X equals X. Now, once you have that written down, Austin, then you're gonna solve it. How do you start to solve that? Add X to both sides. You got that negative X on the left, correct? So you wanna add X on both sides. And then you end up with 180 equals what? End up with 180, because